Hi guys, so we're bringing you our weekly tips for 18.3. We are with
Josh Alshama,
Rob Knight
and Carl Saville. So we're now going to just talk through 18.3. We've just all done it ourselves, how we found it, the prep for it, warming up, and most importantly on this one, the recovery side of stuff as well. Obviously Josh has been giving you guys the tips over the last few weeks, so I hope you've enjoyed them. And yeah, we thought we'd sort of do this one a bit more of a relaxed blog and just talking about how we found it. And if you guys have any questions at all on anything we've covered or not covered, just comment below, and obviously we'll get back to you as soon as we can about this. So, Josh, how did you find how did you prepare for this one?
So in terms of preparation, first thing I did is my usual. I come into the gym, spend a little bit of time I enjoy on the bike, but some of you guys can use that rower just to get yourself moving a little bit. Finishing that, I found that I needed to warm up my hamstrings and my calves mainly in preparation for those double unders, as they are a big part of your workout. In fact, they are most of your workout.
To be fair, guys, you've probably seen me and Darren obviously warmed our calves up a bit too much, and we were pretty swollen, you know. So yeah, you would have seen this in the group already. But,
so that's going to be a key point. I mean, warming up those calves is going to be crucial. I spent a little bit of time walking around the gym on my tiptoes, then onto my heels. I was going through a series of jumps, working through my single unders, that kind of thing first, before then taking it into my doubles. But I think the key thing for me was really warming up those calves and getting myself going.
I think like touching on that in terms of trying to get your walking around on your tiptoes is a good point, because when we say like we're warming up our calves and we're going to do, there's a lot of different drills you can do for that, we actually want to kind of focus a bit about warming up the underneath the arches of your feet, right? Which is why you're on your tiptoes. And this is something I think that a lot of people want to be careful of if you're looking to repeat the workout, especially, is making sure you are warm, and that's not just the main muscle groups themselves, but breaking this down into, for this one, the arches of your feet, because it is very, very common doing a lot of jumping movements to get like plantar fasciitis, for example, is a very nasty injury to have, and I think that's real important. So seeing especially the size of these guys tiptoeing around the gym was it's pretty funny, but it works, so it's a good way of doing it.
Even your ankles, I'm going to say, are a key point. I mean, Rob, you spent a little bit of time warming up your ankles, didn't you?
Yeah, for sure, because for me, double unders have always been a massive issue. So I know that I'm always going to struggle with that, so I had to warm up my ankles quite a lot just to get that flexibility, especially because then also that works into overhead squats as well, just to get that extra ankle mobility, because I didn't want to use my lifters, especially with all those double unders in it, because again, that's just not going to give me the support in the arches of my feet.
And you spent a bit of time on the box, right?
On the box, yeah.
Yeah,
that's it. It's both your dorsiflexion, just putting a little bit of extra weight, just pushing that knee over your toes a little bit to get that extra bit of sort of flexion as well in your ankle and your calves. But guys, having done this, is there anything that you didn't think you warmed up enough? Because it's all right going through it thinking, right, overhead squats, I've got double unders, I need to work my calves, I need to work my shoulders. Was there anything that you think you could have done a little bit more?
Yeah, I think for me,
preparation, having done it already.
Yeah, I think finishing the workout, like my forearms were absolutely smoked, and of course, this is a workout when you keep moving and you're doing double unders, you're going back and forth from the rig, barbells, dumbbell, you know, there's a lot of grip work in there. I actually quite neglected in terms of making sure my forearms had been like stretched out, rolled out in prep to this, whether that be before you even come to the gym and starting to get things going. I didn't do anything on my forearms at all, and I think that's probably something not necessarily going to cause an injury from it in terms of what we're talking about with your arches of your feet, right? But in your forearms, if you want to gain extra reps and be more comfortable, then why wouldn't you get them muscles ready as well first? So that would be something that I would definitely recommend doing for that.
So touching bases on that, in fact, working with your forearms, a key movement that I like to use would be actually just laying down on the ground, getting the end of a barbell, sitting that barbell into the forearm. You can use it on the under part or even on the top, and just roll the barbell gently through your forearm. Depending on how tender you are there, even working with a 15 kilo bar is going to be absolutely fine, because you can apply a little bit more extra pressure rolling that through. So don't feel like, you know, some of the guys have to get a 20 kilo barbell or anything like that. And literally just rolling that down your forearm, avoiding any bony areas, but more the muscular areas, is going to help kind of soften those up a little bit as well.
Just as you're talking, I'm trying to like lick my lips. I'm not licking my lips at his forearm. I feel like Jim Carrey out of Me, Myself and Irene. where he's trying to like dry mouth and he's going.
You will get a dry mouth from the workout.
We have literally finished like 10 minutes ago, so I'm still in a bit of a state. Yeah,
a bit delirious.
But yeah, so okay, so let's move on to that's like some prep for the workout. But what about performance then? So how did you guys find what worked for you and what you changed to now redo and deliver more reps?
Well, let's look at it, right? It's a double under workout. Like most of your reps and where you're going to get that high scoring elements is making sure that you're efficient, but you don't blow out, right? So if it's depending on the athlete, I think when it comes around to those double unders, if you know you're someone that, you might hold on to the first 100, but you're going to smoke out, maybe be tactical about that and break a little bit earlier, knowing that you can take that deep breath, shake out the arms, and then back onto your rope.
So this is actually a good point. So it depends as well, like who this is for. So if you look at like myself, like I'm flying the flag for the average man, like we're in the workout, in the open, having fun, challenging ourselves on the leaderboard. I'm someone that, yes, I'm comfortable in double unders, but I'm still going to want to have to break them up because my lung and work rate capacity isn't going to be able to maintain that regardless. So it would be no good me trying to force them big sets of double unders and my lungs just completely frying. So I was breaking mine up anyway into at least like 3 sets, generally 4. And I wouldn't stress about when I broke that. Like if I stood on it, that was my break, and then I'd move on. So I was always relaxed. I think that's where it's key for looking at whether we're looking at like the average person doing the open or whether you're looking at elite athletes that want to try and challenge regional spots and so on, because that's then when you're looking at...
I went the other way when it came to the double unders. I held on, I made sure that I was holding on for as long as possible, and then if I did need to break, I wasn't afraid to say, now's the time, kind of have a break.
And this is because on the other movements, you're strong enough and your work rate capacity is enough that you can really fly at them hard, right? So you know you need to maximise your time and reps to push them double unders hard.
Exactly.
So what would you change now, looking at your performance and what you've done with that mindset, what would you now change to get another 10 reps next time?
I think I was happy with the pace that I worked at. I think I can definitely, especially when I got through most of the workout, there was a few points where I think I broke where I could have held on a little bit longer, and I think I could increase a little bit more speed. So I would say definitely for the elite athletes, don't be afraid to go a little bit faster.
On what part, sorry?
So just in general, like for instance, it's very easy to get round to your muscle ups, say for instance. So when I got to those first ring muscle ups and I was thinking, okay, cool, let me be efficient, but let me not burn out. But now I think about it, I think I could have probably gone a little bit faster working through my muscle ups, working through movements like that.
Do you think it's fair to say that when you're back on the double unders, you actually was able to recover a bit more for the other movement, or even on the other movements recovering for the double unders? Like, which one did you find necessarily easier? Or?
I found it was the double unders that burn you out more, but you could recover for your other movements on those double unders. So for me, it was definitely, especially once you got out of that first kind of 20 reps of those double unders and you get set into your rhythm, you start breathing again and you slow it down, but you keep yourself moving. I think you can definitely recover.
So that's what we just said a minute ago, like depending on what we're talking about, who this is for. A minute, we're talking about elite athletes. So if you guys know that you're comfortable on like ring muscle ups and stuff, then you know that when you're pushing that pace, you're going to be able to deliver the movements but still be efficient to recover. If you're someone like myself that like is going to be struggling on them other movements as well, then you need to be talking about when you're breaking and to maintain that steady pace so that you're not upping that. So for the elite guys,
So kind of like on that sort of the feel of it, would you liken it to like 18.2? Obviously, where that was quite leg intensive, and you you finished your burpees, you finished those squats, and you had to go to your cleans, but you felt your legs were blowing up so much, and you think you could make that clean, but in actual fact, you could do if you just pushed through it. This is kind of like a shoulder version of that, because you're going through all these reps of double unders, your shoulders are blowing out that little bit. And again, for the elite athlete, mentally you think my shoulders are so jacked, I don't think I can push on to that, but in reality you actually could.
I do think for the top guys like that they should definitely be thinking I need to get that set done. I remember like Panchek saying to us before, like always start your next set no matter what, you walk to it, take a deep breath and get started, because
get that first 1-2 reps done,
because you get more energy from a different muscle movement, you know, so
exactly that,
no matter what your brain's thinking, you can get it started. And I think for this workout, if you're definitely someone who's looking for like a top regional spot, then you need to be moving onto that next set straight away. Maybe for myself, like I'd look at this a little bit differently, where I'd always try and take a steady walk to the next movement, just to try and calm my heart rate down, get some deep breaths in, and then start my first set, scheduled break, go again. So it's always like a consistent pace. I think if I rushed from double unders straight to the next movement or vice versa, I'd be too flustered and my heart would be going too quick.
I just want to touch base on a key point that you said earlier when you was actually looking at your double unders. I think this is important for the guys to know. Don't get caught up looking at your double unders thinking, right, I need to have a set number in my head. And thinking, right, I'm going to split that in 20s or I'm going to split that in 30s or whatever. Actually go into it, just hit your double unders. And when you feel like you need that break, you feel like, you know, it's really starting to fire up, take it. And then get set back. I wouldn't get caught up on going, right, I need to split here, here and here, because that might just slow you down too much.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely felt that, especially in that second half of the workout. I almost wasn't thinking whatsoever about my dumbbells. They controlled themselves. You know, if I stood on it, I rested, regrouped, went again, and that was it. You know. So.
Yeah, so exactly the same thing. Like for me, like I said before, like my double unders are the weakest part of this workout, and I didn't want to frustrate myself by saying, right, I want to hit this much and then rest, this much and then rest. So I was just like, right, on my double unders, whatever happens, happens. I get out as many as I can get out. If I keep going, fantastic, great, and flying. But at the same point, I didn't want to overdo it, because again, I could still feel my shoulders getting like really starting to burn out, so I purposely started to stop.
Yeah, that actually worked for you, benefit towards the end of the workout. You actually started increasing larger sets, didn't you? So I think it's your last set 100, you started doing like, you was doing 25 and 25 and so on.
Exactly.
So actually that became more efficient.
We should talk about the dumbbell snatch. Right, because it's easily overlooked because we've had quite a lot of it going on. We've had it in quite a lot of workouts, but obviously we've got that new standard now where they're saying they want that pass in front of the face. And I think for a lot of, for myself included, I'm quite comfortable dropping my dumbbell and kind of catching, right? But that's where I'm going to get caught out. And you don't want to get caught out on this set because it's 20 reps. Personally, for me, I wanted to hold on here and make sure that every movement, every rep was efficient. So I actually found that my dumbbell snatch was slower than I usually do, so that I could get through it efficiently. And I think the guys should be careful that they don't get caught up in trying to rush that sort of movement, because you're not going to be there for long anyway. Don't get caught out with those no reps.
Yeah, I agree. I think, again, just flicking it back from my own point of view, like I split mine up for just a split second, the 10 and 10, just to catch my breath and keep my heart rate steady. And the elite guys, like, all the way through and just be efficiently moving steady. And if as you finish in your rep and you're pulling it back down and it's coming into your hand on the way down, you can keep that consistent and move. You don't have to be, none of these movements should be 100%, right? They should be like 80, potentially 90% towards the end, like tops. Like if you're trying to rip that dumbbell up and down, yes, it's a movement you will feel like you can do that, but what's the damage that will cause then?
But then you still got to get onto those double unders and those bar muscle ups.
Exactly.
So I think key point that 80-85% is a good place to be working.
What did you guys feel about the difference between having the ring muscle up in there and the bar muscle up? Like how did you guys, what was the difference of that for you performance wise?
I like both. So I mean personally I enjoyed doing both of those. I think you can be a little bit more daring from my experience with the bar muscle up. You can probably hold on a little bit longer with that bar muscle up, so don't be afraid to do that than most people do with the ring muscle ups. I think being tactical here, splitting that where you know you need to split, and then going a little bit longer here is going to benefit you in terms of getting through the workout quicker. I would also say when it comes to these two movements, like what I did is I blocked myself in so that I couldn't run away. So if I had to break, I knew that when I came down.
He actually done this with assault bikes, like a pig pen. This guy literally assault bikes, penned himself in, he couldn't move anywhere.
But that worked, you know, and it just meant that I wasn't running away from the bar, because you'll find that if you're smart in your break and you don't go to that red line, you come down, it's a quick shakeout, you're back up.
Where is it, again, I'm just going to keep flicking this backwards and forwards from your everyday person and the elite, because when I was doing mine, I'm comfortable on double unders and bar muscle ups. They're all movements that I like and I'm efficient at when I do them on their own. In this workout, by the time when it come around to the bar muscle ups, I was pretty tired, you know, like my lungs were really going. So for something that I would think I'd easily do 6 and 6, not a problem, or even a set of 12, depending on the workout. This one I broke down like 4 and then 3s after that, because my lungs were going too much for me, you know.
It was a game changer after 400 double unders and all that work prior.
Yeah, exactly. Because in the rings, I was super comfortable, and I was thinking, brilliant, I can catch my lungs here. I still kept it into small sets because I didn't want to fry myself. But by the time the bars come round, it it did throw me off a little bit, like because I was thinking this is something I'm good at, but actually I'm struggling a little bit in the lungs again.
Yeah, so it's like you say, I mean, because there's a hell of a lot of work to get to. I mean, just to get to the end of the first round.
Yeah.
But then you've also got this 14-minute time cap.
Which I kept thinking was 12 minutes.
Yeah, and I did as well. Like we said this afterwards. When I was judging you as well, I was looking at 11 minutes, thinking, "Come on, mate, you've got a minute left." Oh no, I've already done it. You know, like, it's,
So obviously you got to keep this in mind. I mean, sort of, essentially, if you wanted, like we chatted earlier, so if you wanted to get round 2 rounds of this in 14 minutes, you're looking to do each double under section and sort of movement section in about 1.5 minutes, and that's some going.
Yeah.
That is some going. So, sort of, don't think you can easily get 2 rounds done within that 40-minute time cap. But on the same side of it, be sensible with this. Push yourself if you're towards the end of this and you're at like the 10-minute mark. Don't be surprised if you are for the average Joe, because then you've got a potential of 100 extra reps you can get here.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to push yourself, but still kind of pace yourself a little bit on this.
Yeah.
And then you've got like 2 minutes potentially to try and get 100 reps done, and that's going to make or break some people.
Yeah, and I think when you've got these workouts where your time cap, like 14 minutes is still a long period of time. Like when you're like pacing yourself through this and you're getting going, and yes, you're pushing boundaries and stuff, but you still always want to be increasing the rep range, right, towards your pace towards the end. So when you come towards like the last 9-minute mark, and then like the 11, 12 and so on, you got to be thinking to yourself, now I'm hitting 12 minutes, I've got 2 minutes. No matter what you're on, you're pushing hard. And if you're on double unders, what you might be tempted to do is to try and go super quick, but then you're going to be standing on that rope a lot, and potentially you're going to go slower. So when you're in the movements between them, that's when I'd say in that last 2 minutes you go full throttle.
Oh yeah, because you get out of that movement and you've got so many reps to gain.
Yeah, and when you're on them double unders, you're moving fast, but you're still trying to stay comfortable and efficient. If you start tensing up and you're forcing reps, you're going to stand on it, and that's going to be ultimately a slower and less rep range. So,
so every time you stand on it, that's like 5 reps, isn't it? Really, potentially, if you were calmer. Yeah,
100%. That is the turtle and the hare race. You know, you would see that turtle just pass you by, going comfortable and regular. If you were trying to rush and tensing up, and your rope, like your dome changes on your rope shape. That's Just go for it.
Roll out your calves. Roll out your calves. Roll out the bottom of your feet. Right. Make sure you get onto that foam roller. Don't just walk away and shrug off your shoulders and just think that's it. They're gonna be fired up. Mine were.
Yeah.
I mean, all of ours were. We were all up sorting that out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Get on that foam roller. Roll out those calves. Roll out the arches of your feet. Give your shoulders some love.
Yeah, because we said about this in the prep for the warm-up, and that's like absolutely brilliant then for delivering maximum performance. But likewise, recovery is the utmost importance in terms of if you want to repeat this and you want to get yourself recovered again, ready for training, you've got to be thinking about this, you know, like give yourself that little breather just to calm down, let your muscles like do normal rolling out, and then get yourself onto a peanut or a foam roller, a tennis ball, and gently roll the arches of your calves out, nice and easy, change the angles of your feet. Like I think for me, this is a really, really important one, because if you're someone that's good at double unders, this is going to be a lot of double unders. So even if you're comfortable, you're going to be straining that position over and over again. And if you're not, you're still going to be doing like your warm up, your drills, and the workout. You're going to be on them double unders anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
And for me, when people are learning double unders, it is something that they get stuck on, and then you can see real bad stuff. Like I mentioned earlier about the plantar fasciitis. Like this is my biggest concern for this. You know, I want people to be just warming up, prepping, and recovering as best as possible. So we spent like a good, I don't know, like at least 15 minutes, like just rolling out afterwards, just to make sure, we've covered everywhere really.
If you've got a complex or a power dot, use it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be using mine tonight. I know that for sure.
Get it out of that drawer, slap on them pads, and get that baby fired up. Yeah. And then you want to be doing all your normal stuff. So you've strained your lats as well, like in this, in terms of with the different types of muscle ups as well. You know, this is the first time in the Open we've had ring and bar together.
Yeah, sure.
So your lats, your pulling power has been used in a slightly different motion in 2 movements. You might just think that's your basic lats, but when you've got a fixed object and then you're moving the rings around, you're going to be really straining a lot of different tendons and ligaments to deliver them 2 different sort of movements. So sit on them foam rollers and the peanuts, get them in there, get the subscap, like really target that particularly. then again spend a good bit of time on that. So
again, for me, I'm feeling it right in the front, like my front delts going into my pec, that little bit extra. Again, I think it's just where again I struggle with like my double unders and stuff. It just felt.
That's true. Yeah, your double unders and then your press out of your ring muscle
ups as well,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you think when you're tired and you're throwing yourself up to catching the bottom, like this is a stress in the front delt for sure.
Yeah, I can definitely go and feel that the next day.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, like I like the workout for me. It's got like its pros and cons for sure, but I think this is something to go in the gym, do that sort of prep work, get it done, see how you got on, and then sit down and analyse where you could improve. You know, like because it is a workout. If you recover properly and prep properly, you can repeat Friday and Monday. I certainly wouldn't recommend anyone be doing this like back to back on days because that could become dangerous. But yeah, Friday and a Monday is fine if all recovered properly, and just sit there. You know, record yourselves. Like look where did I stop? Where can I improve? Was I redlining? Did I go too slow? And all the things that we've covered. That's where you're going to pick up them extra reps for sure.
Yeah, I mean, last thing that I would kind of say here as well when it comes to the workout, we mentioned about that 80% work rate. There's some guys out there that really want to push for that top score, but it is super important in this workout to stay relaxed throughout, right? Because you get worked up on your double unders, you're going to trip. You know, if you get worked up on your overhead squats, you can miss a rep, you can drop the bar. You get worked up on those muscle ups, you're going to come out the ring. So I think it really is crucial, no matter what happens, stay nice and relaxed, keep breathing through every movement.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point that we missed off earlier on. I was going to mention was when I went back into the overhead squats on that second round. I like I did. Yeah. I did. I won't say what I finished. I just
what else happened after that?
It's a good story.
I'm going to keep that where it was. That's it. When I went back into the overhead squats in that round, Mike, overhead squats for me is my favourite movement. You know, that's my strongest movement, and whenever we do a workout, I love getting into them. That second round, I was so unstable at the bottom and at the top of the rep. I had 30 seconds left, I think, Rob and so on were saying, like, hold on to the bar, like, get this done. And I'm, like, really unstable at the top. I was at the bottom, and I think you want to be ready, no matter how comfortable you are in that position, to be unstable from all that gymnastics work and starting to redline towards the end. If you do get to that point on the end, like in terms of if you go past it, then you're going to be probably okay. But if you're trying to push hard in the last minute, be prepared to sit at the bottom of your overhead squat so you don't rush to stand up. Yeah, because a couple of times...
shoulder fatigue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keep pressing into that bar. Don't let that bar come down.
It catches you.
I think if you switch off from pressing into the bar, you're going to drop it forward.
Yeah.
If you try and rush to stand them up and just touch and go them all the time, you're at risk of dropping. So if you finish on the overhead squats, be careful how much you push that in redline. Just be ready to push up hard, take your time at the bottom if you need to, but be ready to feel very unstable.
Breathe at the top if you have to.
Yeah.
Stand that rep up, take that breath, tighten up that midline before you go back down.
Yeah, when it came to that 10 seconds and I'm trying to get the extra rep or two, I was having to hold at the top, and I could feel everything shaking and moving. I had to wait, stabilise, then go again, and I'd done the same, stabilise, go again, and that probably gave me a good 4 reps by the time I actually could have put that bar down thinking I'm gonna, my stability's gone, but I held it, stabilised, and then went. That was where I finished, and that's just to let you know. And that was
on the third round, though, right?
yeah, for sure.
Just keep going.
But yeah, okay. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and like I say, all the points and tips and stuff. Utmost importance, go out and enjoy the workout. Give yourself confidence, like go into the workout, try and smile. As Josh said, if you've seen his video before, smile during his workouts, try and enjoy them. That'll give you more energy. Confidence is a key thing in all sports. Break the workout down as you need to, whether like we were saying between that everyday person, the elite one, just be realistic with yourself, and then you've got that plan, you can go and deliver that. See how you get on Friday. Today, recover properly, and then hit it again on Monday if you need to. But it's a workout that's very interesting. It's got a lot of variables to it. Yeah.
And these guys, everyone's trained for this. We do this stuff in training. If you get stumped with a movement, if you're up in that level and you're going into a technical movement like your muscle up or whatever, and you find that it is a little bit of a weakness for you now, great. We've just found something that we can work on.
Absolutely. So yeah. Enjoy this one, guys, and most importantly, stay in school.